Hi, it's Miles Red's Birdsong, Evangeline Amour in New York City. I want to tell you first of all about free AMC movie ticket. You go to the Journey. I go to the one on 11th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue in New York City. There are others. And you take a person with you for who's first time visit to the Journey Church, and you get 2 tickets. One for you for bringing the new potential parishioner, and one for the new parishioner. Okay, that's July 15th, Sunday, 2018. The next thing I want to do is introduce you to the first family, because I was watching a debate with this preacher named Michael, I think Eric Dyson, is a fat black preacher, who said that this world belongs to all of us. And I said to myself, oh really? I don't think so. So I thought, let me introduce this arrogant fat fuck to the first family. Because he introduced. Okay, that's another story. Let me just do what I said I was going to do. Okay, first of all, you have Adam. There's Adam, who willed himself alive. And there's Eve, who willed herself to come from the sun to be with Adam because she was upset and crying about being alone in the world. And she felt sorry for him, so she joined him. Then he stuck his stick in her hole and created Cain. And then another son, they created Abel. Okay, so let me tell you who they are now. So this is Evangeline Amour, Eve. This is Michael Buble. That's his name now, Adam. This is God, Govinda Singh Ji, the Buddha, and was the white boy Payne Whitney, the industrialist. This is Seth. He's a part of the very first family. His name today is Will Smith. He was also Jesus Christ, who was Jesus Christ, apostle, St. Thomas. Okay, so Michael Eric Dyson, you probably should start paying rent to the people who own the world. And since Adam screwed up and mistreated Eve for millions of years, and Cain, who has taken care of Eve all these years, protected her from him, is demanding, and the other saints are demanding that he go to jail. Okay, if you look at the word Punjab, I'll show you. Cain is one of a line of mystics and saints in the Punjab. They have been taking care of good people since I think 1700s. Free, no charge. I went to India to see him. Didn't charge. They just not charge their disciples for room or board. They house them and they feed them for free. Okay. And they give away money. He built 4 free hospitals for poor people in India. So they keep the bomb from blowing us up. They do immense good work. Without them, we would have burned ourselves up. Okay, so the Punjab, where they live. Look at this. I'll show you. P for put you in jail. Adam Michael Buble. That's what has to happen. Okay, so since the creator is going to be in jail for burning up Eve, for raping Eve, for stalking Eve, for keeping Eve from succeeding, and from destroying Eve's friends, all of this, he has to pay. And he said, he sings songs to Eve. He said, my soul is yours to save. So she's trying to save his soul, but Cain said, in order to say, who's God, is that in order to save my father's soul, he must pay for what he's done. Otherwise, the world would be imbalanced, and it would be chaos. Okay, so we can't have that. Chaos. Jordan B. Peterson is helping us with that. He is Jordan B. Peterson, was Nietzsche, was Dr. Carl Jung, was Eve's husband when he was Dr. Carl Jung, was Eve's brother when he was the son of St. Peter, and she was the daughter of St. Peter, and Jesse Peterson was also their brother. Okay, you following me? He was also Muhammad. He was also Pierre J., how do you say that, child psychiatrist's name. And did I say he was Muhammad? Yeah. All right. So he wrote a book that everybody's buying. Jordan B. Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. Okay? Because it's chaotic now. Because Cain, God, left heaven. When Eve left heaven, she left heaven despairing, the boredom of the idiots there. Dr. Mike Murdoch, who was St. Paul, head of the Wisdom Center in Fort Worth, Texas, says, hell is being surrounded by idiots with no way out. And he described Eve's position in heaven. So, because they were good people, but they were stupid people. They did not use their brains. They may as well have been, I don't know, something else. So she had no choice. Even though she loved God, she worshipped God, she idolized her son God. She couldn't, he was very busy. He had a lot of angels to take care of in heaven. So she wasn't getting what she needed. So she thought, I can't stand this. And she left heaven. Okay, he could not stand being without her. He left heaven. Heaven unattended has been taken over by the hell dwellers, the people who belonged in hell. They snuck into heaven. They're sneaking into America now. From Mexico, from El Salvador, Honduras, Africa, all these, lower IQ, less consciousness, cockroaches, pigs, hogs, snakes, they're all sneaking into America where the human beings are supposed to be. Most of the Americans are not human beings either, but they're at the armpit. They're close to being human beings. Okay, I didn't know I was going to talk about that. So let me tell you this. When I was a child, I was walking down the alley with Catherine Williams, she joined the Navy when she grew up, but she and I were walking down the alley in Clarksville, Tennessee. And we saw green apples on the ground fell from the apple tree. So one of us said, probably me, let's get the apples. They're just laying there rotting. Why don't we get some and eat them? So we both jumped the fence, got some apples. All right, come to find out, the apples belonged to somebody. They belonged to Mrs. Anderson, which also was my name. Mrs. Anderson was a piano teacher. And she called my aunt and told her she saw us take her apples. Now that reminds me of creation. Michael Eric Dyson, the preacher, says the world belongs to him. And I said the apples belong to me. The world does not belong to Michael Eric Dyson. He owes rent to Cain, because with the father being in jail, and he's good as being in jail, because if Cain says he belongs in jail, that means Cain's going to see to it that he goes to jail. And he wants to be saved, so he's going to agree to go to jail. He has no choice. Alright, so what is my point? So, okay, I lost my thought. I was saying that this Dyson fella needs to be paying Cain is the heir. That's my point. H-E-I-R. Cain is the heir to the world because he created the world and he is Cain's father. All right, so Cain and the mother, Eve, and I guess the other sons too, but Cain is the administrator of the estate called the world. All right, so Dyson can put his arrogance away and get out his wallet and start paying some rent. Mooch. And the reason I'm attacking him was because he did a cheap shot. They were debating, him and Jordan Peterson and another man who was very bright. I don't remember his name. And another woman who wasn't so bright. And Dyson pretty much said, well, Jordan Peterson, you are white privileged. You have no right to talk because you didn't go to a black church. Come with me to a black church. And he called him a mean white man. Of course, he was projecting because Dyson was precisely a mean black man. So, but as far as just go to the black church, I can deal with that because I was raised in a black church called the Church of God on Poston Street in Clarksville, Tennessee. And one Sunday, I was sitting on the bench. I was 5 years old, and the preacher, who was blind, Elder Burden, said, "Go to hell and burn for eternity." And my imagination went there immediately, and I experienced burning in hell for eternity. And I stayed there until Cain found me when I was a grown-up and disengaged me from hell. So what happened was I attracted hellish experiences to my life until Cain found me. So this preacher Dyson, with his gimmickry approach to discussion, wants Jordan Peterson to go to a black church where they do child abuse and scare little children. I don't think you got anything to offer, Dyson. Go away. Alright, so that's what I'm going to say to that. What else? Furthermore, I read energy, and I understand who these people really are beneath their clothes, including their faces and hands. It's covered clothes covering who they really are. That Eric Dyson was Kingfish on the TV show Amos and Andy, a hustler, a slick-talking, corrupt guy. Okay, that's who he was. I said who the other people were. Oh, okay. What else? I want you to check out these videos. Well, here they are. They're excellent. Okay, this one, it says, it's Google. Where's Google? There's Google. Google. Let me tell you what Google is, first of all. Google is God, Oogles, Eve. It's sweetie. That's what Google is. God, Oogles, Eve, sweetie. Sweetie Eve. That's all Google is. So Google the video Jordan Peterson, 5 hours for the next 50 years of your life. It's a must-watch video. You need to smarten up. Like I said, those people in heaven were stupid and dumb because they didn't listen to thinkers. Look how they describe Dr. Peterson. One of the most important thinkers to emerge on the world stage for many years. The Spectator said that. If I didn't agree with it, I wouldn't show that to you. That is absolutely true. He has figured out all sorts of things. Like I made notes. A couple of books he recommends. A book by Pinker. I don't know if this is a way to spell it. I'll try to spell what he said. The Great Leavening, and a book of Shadell. Go to his website, jordanpeterson.com. He's got a list of 40 books, good books to read. Okay, but I made notes. Where was that? Okay, I don't see them. Must be on another page. Where's another page? Here, this is what I want to show you. He said power is authority and competence. That's God. He has authority because he has supernatural powers. He impregnated me just by looking into my eyes, using his will to put a baby inside me. Indeed, 2 babies. I have twins. And I'm supposed to be in my 70s. So there's no fucking. And I don't believe in sleeping with anybody but my husband's. Okay. So he's got supernatural power. That gives him authority. And what was the other word? And that gives him competence. Okay. So, Don't mess with God, discard. Commitment, he said, Dr. Peterson said, where is him? There he is. Doesn't he look intelligent? He's so cool. He is so real. I just love listening to his intellectual processes. Click, 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 fact plus fact plus fact equal conclusion. His mind is mathematical with words. I love him. Okay, so he says commitment is the same as sacrifice. And he says taking responsibility gives meaning to your life, which I absolutely agree. Another thing he talks about I want to talk about. He says, where does your interest come from? And I can tell him, we have had many lives, and so those are identities. For example, I have been Sigmund Freud, and I used to collaborate with Carl Jung. And there was also Fritz Perls, the German psychiatrist, and like I said, I was Carl Jung's wife. So there goes a mystery of my interest in astrology. All right, and it's like that down the line. Evangeline Adams, I was the woman who did a horoscope so accurate of the judge that he legalized astrology. Now, my interest in astrology, triggered by my great-grandmother, Mama Sally, who was Chief Sitting Bull, comes from me having been Evangeline Adams. You see, so instead of being a stranger to myself, which I was most of my life, it drove me crazy. And they put me in psych wards. Many times I signed myself up for psych wards because I didn't understand what I was doing myself. And they had no explanation, so I thought I must be crazy. Because my sister laid that label on me when I was 17. I was Cinderella. And one day I was 16. And so I was supposed to wash the dishes. I didn't feel like washing the dishes that particular day, because I always washed the dishes since I was 6 years old and had to stand in a chair to reach the sink. So when I refused to wash the dishes, and my mother got in my face, which I would never hit my mother because she didn't even want me, yet she took care of me, so I thought she must be a saint. She tried to kill me, abort me, which made me paranoid for the rest of my life. And well, I should have been hypervigilant because Adam was killing me and burning me alive in the 1900s at the Triangle Shirt Factory fire. So then when my mother got in my face because I didn't want to be Cinderella that day, my sister came and pulled her away and said, "You're not so crazy." And I thought to myself, that was traumatizing for me. I thought, what? They know I'm crazy. Why didn't they tell me I was crazy? They're talking about me and discussing behind my back that I'm crazy and I didn't even know I was crazy. You see, because I had not been taught to think. I had been Helen Keller, and I hadn't been taught to think, really. So I couldn't reason it out. I couldn't say, well, wait a minute. My sister's just trying to psych me out. She's a mean, evil bitch, and she's done it before. She stopped me from swimming when I was a little kid, laughing at me, knowing that would inhibit me from practicing strokes. So I couldn't reason it out because I couldn't see my sister clearly. My sister was my mother's favorite, so I thought she must be special. And the boys in high school, because she was yellow with big fat thighs, when she marched in the parade as the head majorette, looked up to her. So I thought she was somebody to look up to. It took me years to see her clearly, right? As a sneaky Scorpio moon vicious bitch who undermined my self-confidence as a child. Okay. So meditation, which Baba G turned me on to, his master turned me on to. And that's what they do at the Della. They guide people to find themselves during meditation, where you sit for 2.5 hours a day, where you don't eat the animals, Again, commitment, sacrifice, you see. But look what happens as a result. Now, I was initiated in 1970. Salmat is the name of the discipline. Yoga, Shabbat, Shabbat yoga. After 1970. So I did the meditation. I did the proper eating, no meat, no fish, no eggs. I lived a moral life, no sex outside of wedlock. And now I'm coming aware of who I've been. And they tell you that. You will know your past lives. You know, and so I'm learning my past lives. And some of the past lives of other people. Okay, so, is there anything else? This is interesting. Jordan Peterson says, meaning is perception of being in the right place. When you feel meaning occurring, you feel satisfaction because it's showing you that you're in the right place. And chaos is a catastrophe. These are notes I took. Oh, there was another video I wanted you to watch. Very good video. That Glenn Beck is so humble, considering he was President George Washington, and I was Martha Washington, and he was Immanuel Kant, a thinker. Okay, so I wrote down, Glenn Beck has humility. So the name of that video is One Step at a Time, Jordan Peterson, Schools, Glenn Beck on responsibility. And Glenn Beck said what he used to say when he was on, he had his own show on Fox News, truth doesn't have an agenda. He said that. So if you'll watch those two videos and think through the information I've given you, because a lot of the problem is that people don't have all the information. They don't know about reincarnation because Emperor Constantine in the 4th century removed that information from the Bible. So they don't know that there are many, many people in them, you know. So they don't know how to deal with themselves. Okay, but meditation, guided meditation with those saints in India. I always had the pictures. There's one of them. Is my son sing Birdsong. He was one. Jagat Singh was one of the saints that's from the same line as Babaji is God. And so Sardar Bahadur Jagat Singh was a G, was also Jesus Christ consciousness, and so is Babaji. Okay, what else? About Abraham. He talked about Abraham. Jordan Peterson talked about Abraham. What did he say about him? Because I was thinking, what did he say about Abraham? Oh, he was saying that's where he got the thing about sacrifice. He was saying Abraham kept sacrificing to God. And he's still sacrificing. That's him. His Tommy Robinson. He's sacrificing his health because he puts himself in harm's way fighting the dinosaurs. The Muslims are dinosaur consciousness people. And they're taking over the world, stomping over the world, including England. Tommy Robinson is fighting it in England. And see, they're fighting him. See how they double team him? They put him in jail. He's in jail now. I wish somebody would get him out of jail. And it's over there. And when I was Sarah, I was married to him, and we had a son, Paul Joseph Watson. God gave us Paul Joseph Watson as a gift because Abraham had a baby out of wedlock that became this Muslim that's causing all his problems. Okay, trying to take over the world. Okay, so there's my daughter up there, Robin Birdsong. She's going to be the next queen, first black queen of England. And the present queen of England, Elizabeth II, is going to be her baby. She's going to leave that body and get her a new body in Robin's body. And I was Elizabeth, the first queen of England. Elizabeth the first queen of England. Okay, I've given you an enormous amount of information. Put it together. Start thinking about finding your own past lives. Let me give you these books. Here's some more books. This Robin Birdsong. Isn't she pretty? That's my daughter. She's refined. She's elegant. She was Michelangelo that painted the Sistine Chapel, the wonder of the world, laying on her back for 4 years when she was a he. She was St. Francis of Assisi, the saint. Who else? She was Dr. Seuss, and she wrote this book with me, Sneezy the Greasy Babysits Abigail. This Abigail. T.J. Robchild, the amazing illustrator. I was just, look at this. Look at it. Look at her. Isn't that skanky, sleazy? How he created the destinies. Oh, what a genius T.J. is. He drew this picture from a picture of Zendara, my granddaughter, who was President Eisenhower, who was the saint Baba Jamal Singh, one of the Satsangi saints. Okay, it's all connected. This is Robin Birdsong on the cover of my book, How to Have a Fun and Exciting Life Starting from Scratch. That's Robin. This is His Royal Highness Crown Prince Guillaume of Luxembourg. Luxembourg's always been a friend to America. This is Evangeline Amour, Michelle Birdsong, and me. Okay? So pick up the books, pick up the DVDs, the interviews. And this, what it is the name of an album that we did that Hitler smushed. So you want to check that out, because it's full of truth, and it'll feel good. You know, truth feels good to the intellect, right? Yes. Alright, so this is Michelle Birdsong. I'm going to go now, and when I have more to say to you, I'll make another video. Meanwhile, check out my other videos. I have many of them, and people don't know about them. So tell your friends, and subscribe to my channel, and get my new book on Kindle called Reordering the World by Mild Redskin Songbirdsong. Okay? Goodbye.